Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting night of Psychic Sundays Live with your host, the Queen of Ooga Booga herself, Psychic Sally Diane.
Greetings from your Queen of Ooga Booga, of course. Thank you for tuning in. And as my producer said, it's another night of Psychic Sundays Live. And now we're starting something new this week where we are taking questions ahead of time. We've noticed that a lot of you watch the show after the fact, and we thought that you should have an opportunity to ask questions as well. Um, did you want to say anything, darling?
Yeah, where's this music coming from?
I have no idea. Do you guys hear music?
I've got a minute and a half delay.
Minute and a half. Oh my goodness.
Did you get that turned on?
Well, yes, I have it turned on. Sure I do.
Oh, here.
Oh, there it is.
One.
Yes, it's turned on. Can you hear me now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Why not?
I am listening on the live feed, which is
Right.
about a minute and a half delayed.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry that we are delayed, folks. That's going to mean there's going to be a gap between when you ask your question and when I answer it. And I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, but please just go ahead, ask your question. Remember to put a question mark at the end of it so my producer knows. And I'm going to start with some of the questions that were sent ahead of time. First off, and this fella has been waiting very impatiently for his palm reading. So we're going to do it early. Usually I do the palm readings as a separate video. This is for a gentleman named Pascal. And let me just get this opened up so I can take a look at his hands. Now, one thing I can tell by looking at his hands is his mounds are kind of deflated. And that kind of talks to me about untapped potential. I know that Pascal, I know him personally, and he is a very talented individual, but it looks to me like he could probably pay more attention to his intuition. I think that he gets feelings about a lot of things that happen and totally ignore it, and he shouldn't do that, Pascal. He's got a nice heart line. He is a big-hearted person, and he's loyal. Once he likes you forever. I like to see that. He doesn't go down in flames with people, though. He's not a codependent sort of person. Um, let's see what else I see on Pascal. One thing I like to focus in on, go to the right hand, is a lifeline. And the lifeline is that line that runs around this part of your hand. It runs around what they call the mound of Venus, which is right next to your thumb. And Pascal's lifeline goes out quite far. So that talks about somebody who has an adventurous side and is destined to live an adventurous life. He also has a very strong fate line. So if he lets life carry him where it wants to carry him, great things could happen to him. He's got a very, very, very strong fate line, which it's not rare, but it's not common either, especially as heavy as his is. I think that one thing that does work against Pascal, if you look here, this part of his thumb, which is this part right here, is rather short. And that usually denotes somebody who is impatient to the point of harming themselves. It's that short, that part of your thumb when it's really short, it's actually called, and I'm going to put this in air quotes because it's just a name. It's sometimes called the murderer's thumb because it seems to go along with being impatient. And impatience can be a curse, but can also be a blessing if you direct it properly. So keep that in mind, Pascal. Use your impatience to your advantage and try not to let it work against you. Let's see, what else do I see with Pascal? He's got He's got good communication skills. He leads through communication, but I think he might just the way his it seems to me like he leads through communication, but sometimes he doesn't show his leadership the way he wants to. It looks like it kind of gets caught up in the words. He might be using too many words when he needs to kind of lean it out a little bit. Let's see. He's got a good health line. His headline's a little crooked and a little forked off, and that tells me about somebody that can have concentration problems. So if you start having concentration problems, make sure you meditate. See what else I see with him. He's got a line right next to his lifeline, like right here, that stays with him through his childhood and his early adulthood. And that speaks to me of a guardian angel that was watching over him in his youth. And that makes sense because when I look at his younger years, there's a lot of chaining, there's a lot of false starts, there's a lot of back and forth. I think that his journey into young adulthood might have been a rough journey. Anyhow, he's got creativity on his side. He's got good psychic ability if he would use it. He's got a well built up amount of amount of Venus, which tells me that he does have a lot of friends. He is well liked. Okay, so that would be Pascal's palm reading.
Pascal has a question about his future.
Oh, okay. So, yes, Pascal, I would definitely like to answer that question, and I will follow through with the tarot reading. What would you like to know about your future? Just general?
Just general. He needs a place to live, and life has thrown him yet another curve.
Yeah,
or is that a paring knife? I'm not sure.
I know, Pascal. Never forget, you've got a lot of friends. And this is a time for you to reach out to your friends because they'll help you. But I'm going to throw 3 cards for you just to see what's going on with you in the short run. And, and when my producer tells me that that you have home issues, I don't get I don't get a really heavy feeling there. So I don't think that's going to be long-lived. Sometimes one person, a friend of mine once told me that if you look at anything great in your life, anything that really means a lot, and you follow the steps backwards that took you to that point, you would find out that it started at a negative point. And I'm just saying that because you have the sun, but the sun seems to be a little bit clouded. So you're on a path that will lead to happiness, but I know it hasn't got you there yet. So keep putting one foot in front of the other. I know you're going through kind of a dark period, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train. So you have the King of the King of Cups reversed, and he's kind of in a spot that it's. I know you're feeling sad. I know you're feeling sad right now. You're feeling like love is pouring out, but positively aspected. The Two of Wands is reversed, but in my Two of Wands, there's kind of this reference to a Faustian reference to the devil, and it does tell me that. I know you're between relationships. I know that from my producer. But this is a time for you to get in touch with your friends and remember what people like so much about you, because you've lost a bit of yourself there. And if you just give yourself another week or so, you're going to start realizing just how much lighter of heart you feel and how much less weight is on your shoulders. I don't think you realize how much you were being kept down. See how the foot is on the head there? You're just coming out of that kind of situation. So look for yourself as you go through December. You're going to start feeling lighter of heart and lighter of spirit.
All right. Well, there's that reading for Pascal. Thank you, Sally. I just want to say hi, everybody. Grace, Sonia, Lydia, Chawakas,
Love that.
Eva,
Hi,
Kelly,
Eva.
Grace, Marcy, Haunting Live. Wow, look at all you. All right, so Lydia's new here. We're going to start with her.
Okay, and I do have one more question that we'll get to for Mr. T, and he knows who he is.
Lydia wants to know about her love life and just a general reading.
Oh, I love looking at people's love life. I'm just that kind of a nosy person. Okay, so let's look at Lydia's love life. Drips and drabs. Okay. So I don't know how finances plays into your love life, but you might be worrying about those at the wrong time. I think that you kind of, it just seems to mix in with your love life in a bad way. So separate your love life from finances as best you can, so that doesn't come into the conversation. Do not discuss money. When I look at what's, kind of the negative aspect here, you have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, but that tells me that things haven't turned around for you through the fall like you would like them to. So you haven't reached that point quite yet where you feel like you're moving forward. Having said that, when I look at the positive thing, and you look at this card and it looks horrible, but actually because it's reversed, it talks about all the little annoyances kind of falling away, and you are going to find a way forward, romance wise. It's weird that this it almost feels like a work reading instead of a romance reading. You must be a very organized person. I want to throw a few runes because I think you could get a better answer than that. But do look for things to start moving forward. You might have felt a little bit stuck for some reason, and that's going to release within the next 2 months. Okay, but just a few runes, just to make sure I'm being thorough. And okay, so
You're going to have to hold this up. They can't see them.
Okay. Am I holding in the right spot?
Yeah, but it's washed out. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Well, this rune is called, you have a rune that talks about ancestors, about the past, about learning lessons of the past. So take whatever advice your mother gave you, run it in your mind. Go back in the files and find out and think about the kind of advice your mom gave you about relationships, because that seems to be something that you should start paying attention to. Also, there's an aspect of honesty and the idea that truthfulness is strength. Okay, so don't accept dishonesty no matter what in a relationship. I think you know that. Oh, look at that. You're still headed in a good direction. You have the rune that kind of looks like an M, and it's translated to horse, and it just talks about working in a symbiotic relationship. And it does work better when both parties are putting in their fair share, and that's the direction you're headed. Okay, you need to get rid of some of the baggage of the past. No wonder it feels like you're starting out with a project. That's your project. Once you get rid of some of that baggage, you're going to find relationships move forward quite quickly. So, do we have another question?
Yes, we have lots of questions. Folks, I'm going to get through all your questions. I do want to take out the newbies first, though. Let's give them a chance. So we're going to start with Grace here. If I
Lovely
can find the
name.
question as Grace asked. Grace wants to know how many spirit guides are around her and what their message or messages are.
Okay, so you have 3 spirit guides. And I'm going to open up a little bit and find out what their messages are. Okay, so I know this is a little different, but it just feels like this is what I need to do. Okay, so yes, you do have 3 spirit guides. You have one that has very childlike energy to it. So this is probably the one that's with you during your best times. You have one that has more of a feeling of an older woman, and you're probably looking at somebody. She's got a real grandmotherly feel. So you have a child, you have a grandmother, and then you have a young man. So they're around you. One says that even though you're not getting everything you're looking for in life right now, you're getting a lot of it. And remember there's a message of gratitude. Gratitude brings rewards. So even if it's just for a little thing, always be grateful, because that's going to move you ahead. It's also going to get you in touch with your guides. The grandmotherly one says that she's around you at times in your life when you're ungrounded. So her message is more about love and tolerance and less about the material. She's not a materialist. There's no material messages there. The younger man, the male guide that you have will be coming into you'll be more aware of him when it comes into the spring, because it looks like he's stepping forward to help you through some of the obstacles that you face in the spring. So yes, Grace, you have spirit guides, and they are active and they are watching out for you.
Kelly wants to know what her finances are going to look like for the next 3 months.
Finances can be such a sticky topic. I know it's been hard basically for everybody. We all had to kind of sit back and ratchet it back. So Kelly's finance for the next little while. Well, they're kind of being really strict with you here. What they're saying is quit wasting your money. There's somebody you're wasting your money on, and they're giving you a quit wasting your money on that person. Whoever you're wasting your money on, quit it. Make that person pay their own bill, pay their own way. But it does look like, if you're patient, and it's saying that it's going to take about 3 months. Well, it's giving you 3, so I'm going to say March-ish. You're going to find that things start turning around a little bit better. But the fact that you have the wheel here tells me that you're okay. That you can hang on until things start to improve more rapidly in the spring. It feels like your finances thaw when the weather thaws. Thank you, and remember to like and subscribe and tell all your friends about me. And while I'm talking about me, anybody who would want a reading with your queen, you can call the spa near the tracks in Stratford, and that number will be up at the end of the video, and make an appointment to see me. Or if you would like a Skype reading, an online reading, send me an email to queenofoogaboga@gmail.com. Okay, and who's next?
Sonia would like you to pull some cards.
Sonia, I would love to pull some cards for you.
I'm going to pull for Sonia for a change.
Okay, he's going to pull. Okay, 1 for Sonia, 2 for Sonia, and 3 for Sonia. Okay, So, get the producer reading, the special reading. Okay, so. Oh, he pulls better cards than I do. What was the reading? What was the question, Sonia?
She didn't have a question.
Oh, well.
Not that I could find.
One overriding theme in your life right now is love over the holidays. It looks like you're going into more of a spooning, cocooning, canoodling, whatever they call it. It looks like you've got somebody and you're just cuddling up a lot. I like to see that. You've got the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups talks about moving from material happiness, from the material to the emotional, moving toward a happier period of life where your focus is more on being happy and less on having the bills paid. Not that I see you swimming in money, but just it seems like there's enough stability there that it gives you the room to enjoy a honeymoon period here. Because you've got two people that are just canoodling. So that's what's happening in the near future. And you've got the sun. And even though the sun's in a spot where it's kind of got a little bit of a cloud over it, it tells me stay on the path you're on right now. You are on a path that will lead you to more happiness. Thank you for pulling the cards. I think I'll have you pull all of them. Those were great cards.
Bianca wants to know if you have any spirit guide messages for her for the whole month of December.
For the whole month of December. I wish I had brought my Rudrashka, see my pendulum with me.
I wish I would have brought a dictionary. Give her a message for each day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it'd be like the messages advent calendar.
No, but we're going to do December. We're just going to do week 1, 2, 3, 4. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So you've got this is Christmas. So this is where you're at right now. And where you're at right now is
Slide this way?
no, certainly. Right now your focus might not be in the right direction because you're focusing in on the practical and the material, which is, we're material people in material world. It sounds like a logical thing to do. But one of your guides says, hey, why don't you look around and pay a little bit more attention to love? There's somebody that's looking for your attention. When I look into, if we go up about a week or so as we're coming up to Christmas, it does look like things move forward quickly for you. And I do see some lovers games there too. So love heats up for you in December. You've got the Page of Wands, and that's right around Christmas. And the pages are messages, and this feels like good news. It just says a message of good news. So you get a message of good news there, and I know you're freaking out because the last card is, oh my God, the devil! And yeah, we don't like to see the devil show up because the devil's a manipulator. He's a liar. But I want to do a few more cards than that because you're being given a warning about somebody, and it's like when I touch it, especially when I said liar, it's like boom, 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 boom. Always remember, lies are deliberate. They're always a deliberate act of disrespect. Do not tolerate it. Do not tolerate it, especially when you get between Christmas and New Year's. Absolutely no lies. If somebody lies to you, show them the door. Yeah. It's a way of taking your power back. So no, do not tolerate lies or liars. You will be so proud of yourself. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for asking. Remember to like and subscribe.
Chris wants to know whether the funds that work owes him will pay them. What? Did you get that? Chris has owed some money from work. He was wondering whether they're going to copy.
Oh, yeah, but that question was already sent to me. See, I wasn't going to use names. That was Mr. T. But we're going to do that. Yeah, they'd already sent the question.
Did they?
Yeah. Impatience seems to be the theme of the night.
Well, his name is right there on his account. Spiritual Messages by Medium Chris LaRocque.
Yes,
I'm,
which
I'm
and
definitely
Chris
having
is
problems with my S's tonight.
Chris Chris is a dear friend of ours. We do we do the events, the Ghost of the Queen events with him and Trevor, and also on Wednesday nights, Chris does spiritual messages. You
Hi,
know,
Tanya.
so there's another place where you can go to get spiritual messages on Wednesday night at Haunting Live Podcast. So see about the I'm gonna throw a few extra cards because that's just a tricky deal there. I know a little bit about it. Really. So when I look at what's going on, I know that this is undermining. This is undermining you at work. This is undermining you as an employee. It's taking away your motivation, and it's really a bad thing for them to be doing. And it's for the wrong reasons. There's bad politics here, and I'm really worried about the job security there. I've got to be honest. Um, it just feels like they're going to make it as hard as possible on you. And I don't know whether it's really not a matter that they don't have the money. But it's sort of like they're looking, I hate to put it like this, I really do, but they're looking to cheat you in a way. And I say that because that last card is 10 of Wands. And in my 10 of Wands, you can tell it's like that highway robbery, and they won't get away with it, but I think you may need to get a little bit more forceful about this. And I hate to say that because it just seems like it puts you in such a dicey position. But it does say that in the short term, it's uncomfortable and it's nerve wracking. And it feels like they're setting you up to kick you out the door. But, having said that, they'll come as close as possible. They will push you to your very limit before they give you what you want. And what they're looking is to reduce the amount of it. They're trying to negotiate. And I'm not sure whether that's a good thing for you to do or not. I don't have a comfortable feeling about negotiating because this is work. This is money that you've worked for. By negotiating or taking less than what you're due, you're undermining yourself. And it feels like all this and all the politics, you already know, you already have a sense that this is going on. You're just not sure what to do about it. See, that's what I really worry about. I don't like the idea that they're playing politics with your money. That's not right. It's not moral. Okay, so the long and the short of it is, yes, you'll get your money, but it's going to be a fight, and they are going to make it uncomfortable for you. So my suggestion, since it's there anyway, you might as well bite the bitter pill and yeah, and really insist and put some teeth into what you're saying. Feels like you're in a position where they don't want to give you what you want, but they need your skill set. And that's more valuable than they'll let on. Okay.
Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Tanya.
It's good to see you guys.
Tanya wants to get a reading for this week.
this week for Tanya, you know what? Let's do the runes. I'm really
Oh no, not the runes.
yes, the runes. I know you. Okay. Okay, so love is well aspected this week. So you just basically the friends and family seem to be on their best behavior. It's a good week to connect with them. It's also a good week to look at what you want. Reassess your goals early on in the week and set some goals, put a time limit on it. And that would be your direction in 2021. Yeah, this is a good time for you to figure out what you need in 2021, and also how you're going to provide for that. And that all feels in balance. This all feels like a good thing. So overall, it is a good week, except for the one little poison pill right in the middle. And this is like Wednesday or Thursday. It just feels like somebody finds your buttons and pushes hard. Well, there's Suelu, and that's a son. Do you have a son? Because it really feels like somebody close to you that's almost like a son, and there's a real adolescent feel to it. But somewhere in the middle of the week, you got somebody poking and poking at you, and it just feels like it's one of those things where, oh, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue. Do not let this person push your buttons. And it just feels like it's a repeat offender. And then when we look at the end of the week, it's one of the better runes. Your weekend's on a very positive note. You've got Fehu, which is wheat, and it feels like you'll find a way to make a little, the word make a little bit more hay, with what you have. How to get more bang for your buck, if you will. Okay, so good week for you. Don't let anybody push buttons. Okay, so who do we have next?
Who did we just read?
That was Tanya. And while he's looking for the next one, I want to tell you folks about a crystal treatment that I'm offering at Spa near the tracks. I'm pretty excited about it. My guides have been bugging me for years to develop this because I always put crystals on myself, when I want a really good meditation and, just spiritual attunement. And so the folks at Spa near the tracks have been helping me over the past few months just so I could develop it so it's ready for public consumption. And I've finally reached that point. So I will be offering the crystal treatment. And what that involves is, first off, I go into meditation before your appointment. I do a little meditation so I can have a chat with my guides. So when you see me, I've just been in touch with my guides, and I clear off, like the back of you, and then lay you out on the table. So you're laying on your back, and then, first I clear your aura with holy water, and then I start placing the crystals and, develop a white light bubble around you, and then put the crystals in one by one. I let my guides guide my hand and help me to choose crystals. It's always different every time, and I explain to you why I'm putting each crystal where it's going. The treatment itself for the recipient takes about half an hour, and it's available at the Spa near the tracks.
Mahoney wants to know. He's been having nightmares lately. Sorry, could be a she. And she wants to know about what's in store money-wise in the near future.
Boy, you really need to clear your area, and you need to get some anti-negativity crystals around you, whether it's Apache tear, whether it's snowflake obsidian. Go with one of the black crystals to really get rid of the negativity, because you've got somebody really negative around you, because I just sense you got all this weight around you, and it's really taking from you. Okay, so just saying. What was the question again? Senior moment from Mahoney.
Wanted to know about the nightmares
The nightmares.
and
Yeah.
money.
The nightmares, a lot of that has to do with negativity that's not your negativity, that's being thrown at you. And so that's why I'm saying, especially around your bed, make sure you get that circle. Get 4 black crystals, one on each corner of your bed, to get you a nice protection while you sleep. And you want to make sure that you clean those crystals in salt water and give them a little sunlight. If they feel like really heavy, give them a little time in the freezer to give them a nap. But for the most part, keep that around your bed, just so you're deflecting energy while you sleep, so you're not getting so many nightmares. Because I don't feel like there's anything around you that should be sending you nightmares. And we're going to see what the tarot cards have to say about your finances. Oh, I love it. You've got all major arcana cards, and the middle one is a magician, and that's the one that says, you've got all the tools, you got everything you need to put it to get yourself going forward financially. You just need to you have the right skill set to really make something happen financially. You're a lot more in control than you think you are. When I see temperance, and temperance seems to be a little ill aspect and maybe a little wonky, and temperance is about balance, and you might not have reached that spot of balance yet. But since it's there, you are reaching in that direction. Try and maybe not let the finances get into your soul. It's just money. Boy, I hate saying that, because I know it's how we put food on the table, but sometimes if we let ourselves be overcome with it, then nothing chases money way faster than money worry. Positively aspected, you have the Chariot, and the Chariot is about getting a handle on your lower emotions, which is the stress and the anger and the ego and the pride and all these things. And these are things that can overwhelm us. These are things that can pull us in a wrong direction. So it's up to you to be the charioteer and get a handle on those and move in the right direction. When you've got this kind of energy in your life, you should be moving forward full tilt, and you shouldn't be having nightmares. That's somebody's negativity being attracted to you. So take my advice with the crystals. Okay, and thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And tell all your friends about me.
Hi, Arco Iris and Gabi and Haley.
So nice to see all of you.
Yes, it is. Lydia has a repeat question. Sorry, another question. Sorry. Lydia's having problems with her husband. Does he still love me?
Oh, sorry. It's not funny. I know it's not funny. He's testing his limits. Yeah, don't worry. He's still in love with you. He wants to have things his way. And he still loves you. He still loves you. He's just not expressing it very well. I worry about all the things I see coming out of him, because I know he's not acting like somebody who loves you. And this is kind of a stress. I think he feels stressed out. He might feel stressed out at work or stressed out within his family relationships. But what he's directing towards you is just deflecting. Where he feels stressed out at work and he comes home and puts it on you. But this has, even though it is impacting you, it's his stress and he's directing at you, and he is being mean. It's not that he doesn't love you. It's just that he feels like he can. And I don't think you should take crap.
So what you're saying is she needs to spank him?
Yes. Yes. Figuratively speaking. Best advice I was ever given about a man. Men. Men like to be spanked every now and then.
Alrighty then.
And it was a man that gave me that advice. All you gentlemen out there.
All right, so let's get caught up on all these questions here. Suzanne has a question about a new job.
Oh,
Okay, so Suzanne's had a new job for about a month, and she wants to know what the leadership team thinks of her. Sorry, folks, I'll try to slow down.
The leadership team is very pleased. They think that you have settled in. You've become grounded in the job very well. They like the skill set you're showing, and they think you're maturing well in the job, and they see a future with you beyond that. So they're including you as part of the future plans. I'll throw a few more cards because one seems kind of chintzy. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're doing fine. In the middle, you've got the falling tower, which is not necessarily a good card, except it's turned upside down, and it actually talks about the situation before you came in, which we all know that you came into a situation that needed a little bit of repair. So you've worked at building this up and fixing it. You've already brought stability to the position where you're at. They like to see that. They like to see that you're not so, they think you're in a position where you need to be communicative. It's not just being able to know your job and do your job. It's being able to talk to other people and share with other people. And that's a separate skill. And you seem to have both of those. You have the star. I told you you are part of their future plans. They are pleased with the job you're doing, Susan. You just keep up the good work.
Okay, well, we've got a combination questions from numerous people here.
All right.
Exes. I've got 3 young ladies asking about will they get back together with their exes. I figure you just put the cards down and have a chat with them.
Yes. Now, I know that in at least one instance, there's a child involved, which I know that makes it different. But there's an old Yiddish, I guess you'd call it parable, that if you have a pair of shoes that pinches your feet, put them in your closet for 6 months, then pull them out again. And guess what? They'll still pinch your feet. Honestly, very rarely does it work out to take exes back. Usually what happens is you end up with a guy who thinks you will never get rid of them and that they can get away with anything, and ultimately becomes a crazy ex-boyfriend. So please, it's unless there's a child involved, don't go back to an ex. There's a reason why you left somebody. We live in a world with almost 8 billion people. So there's almost 4 billion men to choose from. Don't wear pinchy shoes.
Well, they're not all men.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I know. All right, so that did take care of a few of them there.
We get so hung up on one person. And it's almost like a hook in our heart. And it's hard for us to let go of that feeling and make room in our heart for somebody new. And so we just keep getting sucked into the same battle, into the same, the same troubles. The guy that ignored you before is going to ignore you again. The guy that consistently shows up to your house after 9 o'clock at night instead of coming at a decent hour is going to continue the booty calls. On and on and on and on. If you have a problem the first time around, you'll have it the second time around. And it's almost always worse the second time around. Okay. Sorry for the ray of sunshine there, folks, but I have to speak my truth.
Jerry would like to have a reading for the week.
Okay, the week for Jerry. Okay, so what kind of a week is Jerry going to have? Good one, I hope. Ooh, yes. You start out with the Eight of Wands, so things are going to be moving forward really quickly. And my Eight of Wands has this idea of people coming on board, and people being more cooperative. So this is a good week for you to be your absolute most charming, because it'll work. Okay, so you've got the Nine of Swords reversed. I think maybe you have insomnia problems, and that it just feels like there's no real reason for it, but sometimes we just have insomnia. It seems like it's something that arrives in our life with middle age. Okay, and the most positive thing about this week, you got the World. It's reversed, but you got the World all the same. So you might not get 100% of what you want, but you're going to get 90%. So turn on the charm, turn on the charm, turn on the charm. You'll have a good week.
Suzanne wants to know about Ernie. Apparently he's getting a test done on Friday. And she thinks he misses everybody. Of course he does.
Well, yeah. We all love you, Ernie. Whoops. So here's cards for Ernie. Looks like they threw a few of them. Okay, so for Ernie, it looks like, maybe did he just sell a house or something? Because it feels like, and I might be linking the two of them together, they don't belong together, because it looks like he's got money coming in, but it looks like his house has gotten smaller. So less room at home, more money. He's only one guy. That works out okay. The test on Friday is worrisome. I will admit that is worrisome. They're not going to recommend surgery right away, but they're not going to take it off the table either. There's kind of a wait and see. So you're not going to get 100%. You're not going to get definitive results. You're going to get like, well, this could be this, and this is acting like this, and we're going to have to see what this does over the next few weeks before we know what course of action to take. It feels like he might have a little bit of a complex problem there. It does feel like it has to do with sort of the flowy things. I'm not sure whether it's blood or digestive. It might be a bit of both. But it does feel like it's not really good news, but he comes out of the week with a plan, with a direction, with something to do, with something to do about what's going on with him medically. And it brings him into balance. And it feels like this is what we want to do first. We want to get you balanced. And that's a good outcome there. So it's not going to be 100% good news, but it's going to be something that we can deal with this. And we know what to do about it. So give Ernie my best.
Haley wants to know about her week and if Cole still loves her.
Okay, Haley, I'm going to just cut up one card for Does Cole Still Love You? Because either he still loves you or he never did. Yes, he still loves you, but he hates the idea that he loves you. That wasn't funny. It was honest. It's one of those things. Sometimes I have no filter.
Well, now she wants to know about the week.
Yeah, the week ahead for Haley.
We're going to get to you, Wakas. And I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that.
got a good week. It feels like this is the kind of week where you're going to hear from a lot of people you haven't heard from in a long time. It's kind of this, the weeks feels like community, friends, and family coming together. So there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of planning for what's coming up. So when I look at what's negatively aspected, there's something about training, there's something about school turned a little upside down. Maybe you have to renegotiate student loans or something like that, because it just feels like something about school is not quite, that needs to be addressed. Positively aspected, yeah, Cole still loves you. Cole still loves you. He's being a you know what. But just ignore him. He'll come back.
Oh, next.
Yes, next.
Wakas wants to know if her ex-husband is coming back and about the future.
You went through the trouble of divorcing him once. Why do you want him back? I'm sorry.
And that comes from a woman that's married the same man twice. So she knows of what she speaks as far as it doesn't
Oh boy,
go
howdy
the
do
second
I.
time round.
The second divorce is so much worse than the first one. So much worse. Anyhow, the card that came flying out for you, and I'm going to do more, but I wanted to focus in on this. Sorry for jabbing you about your ex-husband. That wasn't fair. And I will throw some cards on that. But it looks like work-wise, this is a card about work. This is a card about moving ahead and seeing opportunities. And I think that, sometimes we're so glad to have a job that we fail to think, well, there's opportunities ahead, and thinking about ways we can change and move forward. Because you move forward, well, anyhow, this is a time for you to think of the possibilities ahead and act on them. Because it looks like life is offering you opportunities. It's just up to you to grab them. Now, I just want to throw a few cards, just generally, just to see what your guides have to say about you. What does Waka's guides have to say about her? So in the middle, you've got Three of Swords, and it's the Three of Swords reversed. I get the feeling that maybe you didn't, just the fact that you ask if he's coming back says you want him back, that you didn't want to go through the divorce in the first place. But this card here is a card of healing, of moving beyond the pain. So it's telling you, do not stay in a place of heartbreak. These cards are cards of moving ahead, and you've got threes, and threes are like completion on a physical level, and they're also a goddess card, so it's a good card for a woman to get. So when I look at what's good in your life, it looks like, even though you haven't realized it yet, you are coming to a point where you feel totally in control of your money, and that's right. Your life, including your money, where you feel grounded, where you feel confident, where you feel like her. You haven't reached it yet, but you're headed in that direction. And in front of you, you've got the Magician, and the Magician is about, again, is about that awareness, about realizing the opportunities that are right in front of you. Life is offering you a lot of good things. It's time for you to lift up your head and see the opportunities and grab them. And another thing, and I tell a lot of people that, some of my clients are going to be out there going, oh yeah, she's told me this. Remember that men will go for a job that they are only 70% qualified for. Women tend to say, oh, it's got to be 100%. No. The truth of the matter, and the point of me saying that is, if you are 70% qualified for a posting, you should ask for it.
Are you sure that's that high? 70%?
Generous.
I know I got my first cooking job with 0 experience. I just said, I've read your menu. I've eaten everything. We're good.
Okay, so who's next?
Grace. Grace. I lost her question. Grace wants to know who is destined for her and when she will meet him.
Somebody who's love.
Yes, Victoria, you can ask your question.
Well, they are being pretty straightforward. They're saying that you're still not over your last breakup, so you're still thinking about that and running that through your mind, and you just kind of need to leave that behind you, but give yourself some time to don't take too long to heal. It's saying take 2 months, not 3, because when you get to that 3rd month, that's when things start moving ahead for you. And it says use your skills in love. Sometimes we lose the skill, the art of flirtation. And this is a good time for you to get back in touch with the art of flirtation. And you've got positively aspected where you're headed is temperance. And temperance is about balance. And this is where I get spring too, because it feels like Easter. So I'm feeling like love comes into your life, and a balanced love right around Easter. And there's this yin and yang, the sun and the moon together kind of feeling. So don't waste too much time healing, because it's time for you to start working on building another relationship and to honing your relationship skills. The batting your eyelashes, the flirting, the witty banter.
Not too either, though. Some guys don't get that. All right. Who's next? Oh, you know what's next? I'm waiting for a question from Victoria, and that will be the last question. In the meantime,
This week in Ontario?
well, I was going to say let's tell them how they can get a hold of you and what kind of readings you do, and in person and on Skype. And, every now and then we actually get a letter too.
Yes. Okay, so I do 1.5 hour readings, and I also do 75-minute readings at the spa near the tracks. And I know that the prices have changed recently, so I'm pretty sure I'm giving you the right prices. A 25-minute reading. What's this? Oh, I'm supposed to look into the camera? I'm sorry. Just keep looking at him. He's got such a nice beard. Anyhow, so my 25-minute readings are $55. My 55-minute readings are $95, and the 75 minutes readings are $125. A half-hour reading would consist of a palm and tarot reading. When you go to the 55-minute readings, a palm and a tarot reading, and also I'll either read the playing cards or the runes, something else. And I also do crystal readings, so everybody gets to pull a crystal out of the bowl. But sometimes I'll actually do a reading using the crystals. And of course, the 1 hour, the hour and a half reading, you get everything. Also, for the $95 is a crystal healing, which takes a half hour. And I talked to you about a little bit before, where I set up a nice white energy bubble around you, and we just put the little crystals in, and I tell you what they mean along the way. And they're not really little crystals, they're about like that. Okay.
All right, we have Victoria's question. She wants to know about her relationship. How does he feel about her? Because you know more about that than he does. and she doesn't have access to him to ask him.
Well,
Does that take care of all 3 strikes, Chris?
I'll spank him later. Okay,
I
so
usually have to pay extra for that.
yeah, but you were a good boy today. So anyhow, so Victoria, we're going to talk to Victoria. And as far as worrying about whether a guy loves you or not, always remember this. When you think about genetics, the X and the Y chromosome, the X chromosome is 4 legs of genetic information, while the Y chromosome is 3. So it's 8 legs of information versus 7 legs of information, which means that we are at conception 12.5% superior to men. Why am I saying this? So automatically assume that he does like you. If you act like he does like you, he will like you. It's just that simple. Never act needy around men.
Gabby, I missed your question.
So I'm just going to throw a few cards for Victoria. I get such good energies off of her, but it might be because I'm the queen. She's got such a queenly name. How can I not love that name?
Of course.
Of course. So, for Victoria. Don't let the gossips and the negative people get to you. I notice that, I don't know what's wrong with us women, but when somebody gets into a new relationship, there's always 1 or 2 catty women at the sidelines. They're going to try and plant a poison pill about the new relationship. Yeah. Okay. You have the King of Cups and the Magician around you. And the Magician, even though he's reversed, it doesn't feel reversed. So, yeah, you've got something magical coming into your life in the area of love. Just remember, you're the superior one. Don't worry about whether he likes you or not. He does. Just because he doesn't show it, it's just because he's scared. So go forward with confidence. Don't let your eyes say, do you love me? Let your eyes say, I know you love me.
Well, Gabby has a question she asked earlier, so we have to go back and answer that as soon as I find it. Will I meet Sam one day, and do we have a chance to be in a relationship together?
Now the sun had already turned around, so yeah, I think that bodes well. That bodes well. Okay. That card's shown up before. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay, so yes, you've got the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is a new beginning, and usually it talks about, educational training, stuff like that, but it just feels like both of you have some challenges in life. Both of you have some crap that you have to cut through because you're both coming in kind of newly into this relationship, newly healed, and maybe just a little sensitive on both sides. So kind of remember that even though you're a little sensitive, so is he. So keep your words soft and gentle. You wanted some timing. Well, you guys have been communicating for a while. There's some longevity there. I'm really feeling like before the end of the winter, so I'm going to say around February. Okay.
So there's that.
There's
and
that.
Now we are down to This Week in Canada.
This Week in Canada. So this week in
I'm sorry, Star. We're
Canada.
done with questions for tonight. You'll have to join us again next Sunday at 9 o'clock.
And or you can send your question in advance to the Queen of Ooga Booga at gmail.com, and your question will be answered toward the beginning of the program next week. Okay, so this week in Canada, that's what we're looking at.
Good. No, yeah, they were good.
Oh, we're good? Okay. So overall, there's going to be worry about money. I know that Krista Freeland has already said we're going to have to kind of put a cap on or put some restraints on the spending. That's not going to happen this week, just because there's a realization that there needs to be more money in certain areas, particularly education. And it feels like early childhood education, and I see that in the Empress, is something that's been neglected that they're going to have to look at. So that there's a turnaround to that. There's definitely worry about um, that we're not doing enough for COVID, and I don't believe that, but it does feel like that's being said, that there's not enough being done. And you also have the folks that, fight the masks, fight the, the closures and that portion of the population and that voice is going to be a little bit louder this week. So that tells me that the restrictions are going to be pushed forward a little bit harder. And it's, we hate it, but it's necessary. Oh, good. When I look at the near past and the near future, so that talks about over the past couple weeks. Over the past couple of weeks, we've actually done some very good things, and I think that's especially has to do with the vaccines. That we are going to be one of the first nations on earth. Well, no, Great Britain's getting it first, but we're going to be right close in line as far as getting that. I've heard that as soon as they have the approval, that we will be getting the vaccines, and that shows right there and right there in the Fool and in the Knight of Cups that things are moving forward very nicely along as far as getting the vaccines. It's going to put a lot of people's mind at ease. And I have to laugh because there's also a reminder there that one of the things that happen in a multiple party system is you always have somebody there that's pouring gasoline on the fire, and that's going to be happening a lot. And I think that's part of this. Things are closing down more, and so the negative voices come up. But keep in mind, we are headed in the right direction. We are doing the right thing. Toward the end of the week, there is more agreement on the budgeting and that. So the idea of putting up guardrails right now, not going to happen quite yet. There's going to be talk the benefits, benefits, because they've talked about expanding the benefits. They're going to look at they're going to be making plans in a 2 year. They're going to be making plans for over the next 2 years, and this is plans for both the school system and just the population in general. They're trying to get the money out there. So even though we are going to have a little bit of social rockiness during the week, we are headed in the good direction. The news on the vaccine is very, very, very good. By the end of this week, we will be told that the vaccine will be available in about a month. It's telling me 4 weeks, which is about a month. So overall, Canada we're doing not too bad, but the protesters and the negativity, it's to be expected, I guess. All right. So a few confirmations. Yeah, so you've got the King of Coins there, and when I talk about, people kind of ginning up the negativity, that's one of the men in politics. Let me guess, conservative. Yeah, yeah. And it's just trying to muddy the waters. Not that it's funny because the ones that create the problems, they don't necessarily believe that things are being done the wrong way. They're just not being done their way. Ends at the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is a good card. So the week does end up on a high note. And seeing the Fool always makes me optimistic. I love that card. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Remember, if you want a reading from the Queen of Ooga Booga or one of my new crystal treatments, call the spa near the tracks, and that number will be up on your screen shortly. Or if you want a reading via Skype, just send an email to the Queen of Ooga Booga at gmail.com. And that's also the email address that you might want to send questions for next week's show. Have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to tell your friends and subscribe.
For anybody we didn't get to today, Star and Paula and Princess, we'll get to you next Sunday. If you stick around and join us again, you can ask your questions ahead of time via email. And Gabi, we did answer your questions a few minutes ago. When the stream is done, just watch it up again. Good night, everybody. Oh, and to all my Christian friends, happy second Advent, whatever that is.